You know what the biggest lie we've all been sold is? That you gotta feel good before you do something great. That you need to feel ready, feel inspired, or feel motivated. Man, that's the biggest scam out there. You've been waiting for motivation like it's some package Amazon forgot to deliver. And that's why you're stuck. You wake up, scroll through your phone, looking for that one quote, that one video, that one hit of dopamine to light a fire under your ass. But you don't need another quote, you need a commitment. You don't need a spark, you need a system. Because motivation's a damn myth. Motivation is an emotion. It comes, it goes. It's like the weather. You can't control it. You can't rely on it. You can't build your life on it. But discipline is different. Discipline is a decision. It's a muscle. It's a habit. It's the difference between people who want it and people who have it. Motivation will tell you, take it easy today. You've earned it. Discipline says, get up. It's time to work. Motivation says, I don't feel like it. Discipline says, I don't care. Motivation is weak. Discipline is relentless. And I know what some of you are thinking, but Tony, I'm tired. I don't feel like doing it. Of course you don't. You're human. You're not always gonna feel like showing up, but that's exactly the point. Discipline isn't about doing it when it's easy. It's about doing it especially when it's not. You've got dreams. Then start acting like it. Stop waiting for some magical burst of motivation to hit you. It's not coming. No one's coming to wake you up. No one's coming to make you move. You have to decide that today's the day you stop being lazy about your potential. You want to know why most people never make it? It's not because they lack talent. It's because they keep negotiating with themselves. They say things like, I'll start tomorrow, or I'll go harder when I feel more focused. And guess what? Tomorrow turns into next week turns into next month, and next month turns into maybe someday. You don't build a strong life on maybe someday. You build it on no matter what. You build it on days when you're tired, days when you're broke, days when no one believes in you, days when you're fighting your own mind. Because that's what discipline is, doing the work even when you're not in the mood to do the work. I've seen people with half the talent crush those with all the potential just because they were consistent. They didn't wait to feel good. They didn't wait for someone to clap for them. They didn't wait for the perfect moment. They just moved. And that's what I'm asking you to do today. Move. Stop asking, how do I get motivated? Start asking, how do I stay disciplined? Because discipline builds results. Results build momentum, and momentum builds belief. You don't need motivation when you're in motion. Let that sink in. If you move long enough, if you grind long enough, if you keep showing up even when you don't feel like it, one day you'll wake up and realize you became unstoppable. Because here's what happens when you commit to discipline. You start to respect yourself. You stop making promises you don't keep. You stop saying, I'll try, and start saying, I'll do it. And that's when everything changes. You can't build confidence out of laziness. You can't build strength from skipping reps. Confidence is built through kept promises. It's built through consistency. It's built through doing what most people won't do, especially when it's inconvenient. I've worked with champions and billionaires, Navy SEALs, you name it. They all say the same thing: motivation fades, discipline lasts. You think those people wake up every day feeling fired up? Hell no. They wake up tired, sore, unmotivated, just like you. But they've trained their mind to move anyway. That's what separates them. Not genetics, not luck, discipline. Because here's the truth, your brain will always choose comfort. If you let it, it'll whisper. Hit snooze. It'll say, you deserve a break. And if you keep listening to that voice, you'll never reach your potential. You've got another voice though, the one that says, let's go. The one that says, get up. The one that says, we're not done yet. That voice is discipline. And you need to feed that voice every damn day. You do that by keeping your word to yourself, by showing up when it sucks, by working when you don't feel like it, by finishing what you start. Because once you prove to yourself that you can do what you said you would do, your life changes. You start walking differently, talking differently, you start trusting us, you stop needing motivation because you became the motivation. And that's what I want for you, to stop waiting, to stop overthinking, to stop making excuses, because motivation's not coming to save you. Discipline's already inside you. It's just waiting for you to wake it up. You think discipline feels good? No, it doesn't. Discipline feels like dragging yourself through mud while everyone else is chilling on the couch. Discipline hurts, it's uncomfortable, it's boring sometimes. But that's where the magic happens. That's the grind, and the grind is where character is forged. When you're tired, when the day's been brutal, and your brain starts saying, just skip it today, that's the exact second that defines who you are. Because that's the fork in the road, comfort on one side, greatness on the other. And every time you choose discipline, you carve strength into your identity. People talk about willpower like it's a mystical gift. It's not. It's a muscle, and you build it by using it. Every no to distraction, every yes to work, every rep, every run, every early morning when you'd rather sleep. That's another fiber of discipline being built. You know what's wild? The most successful people I've met don't chase motivation at all. They chase momentum. They know once you start moving, energy shows up, but you've got to move first. That's the part most folks never do. They're waiting to feel right before they act. But feelings follow action, not the other way around. You've got to understand something. Your mind is always testing you. It's asking, how bad do you want it? When you hit that moment where you want to quit, that's the exam. That's the test of your future. Pass that test enough times and discipline becomes automatic. Fail it often enough and quitting becomes your habit. You've got dreams. Then you need structure. You need rituals. Stop hoping and start scheduling. Wake up at the same time. Study at the same time, because structure creates freedom. And I get it. You're busy. You've got classes, jobs, people pulling on your time, but you've got the same 24 hours as everyone who made it. The difference is how they spend theirs. Discipline is what separates the average from the elite. Let's be real, the grind doesn't give instant results. You'll put in weeks, months, sometimes years before you see anything tangible. That's when most people drop off. They think it's not working, but the ones who stay, they're building roots, deep roots. When you plant a seed, you don't dig it up every 2 days to see if it's growing. You water it, give it light, trust the process. That's discipline. That's the long game. You'll have days when everything in you screams to stop. Days when you're exhausted, when the plan falls apart, when nobody believes in you. That's when you've got to talk to yourself louder than your doubt. Get up, keep going. This is where champions are made, because every hard moment you push through is a brick in the foundation of your future. Here's what discipline really gives you: freedom. The freedom to control your life instead of your impulses controlling you. The freedom to say no to nonsense and yes to purpose. When you master discipline, you don't need to chase motivation. You become unstoppable regardless of mood. You know that feeling when you finally do the thing you didn't want to do? That quiet pride. That's self-respect growing. Every time you win that internal battle, you build trust with yourself. And self-trust is the most powerful currency in life. Without discipline, you can't depend on yourself. You start every day negotiating, maybe later, maybe tomorrow. With discipline, there's no debate. It's just, let's go. Think about an athlete on a freezing morning. Nobody's cheering, no cameras, just their breath in the cold air and the sound of their shoes hitting the pavement. That's discipline. That's what greatness looks like when nobody's watching. And here's the thing, discipline doesn't kill creativity, it fuels it. When your habits are tight, your mind is free to think bigger. Chaos kills dreams, routine builds empires. I want you to remember this: discipline is a form of self-love. It's not punishment, it's saying, I care enough about my future to do what needs to be done. So stop saying you don't have time, you do. Stop saying you're not ready, you are. Stop waiting for the mood to hit. Start building the muscle to move without it. Because when life hits you, and it will, discipline is what keeps you standing. When opportunities come, discipline makes sure you're prepared. When success finally shows up, discipline makes sure you keep it. You can hype yourself all you want, but if you can't follow through, none of it matters. Execution beats excitement every single time. So tomorrow morning, when that alarm goes off, don't hit snooze, don't bargain, don't overthink. Just move. Get up, get after it. Prove to yourself that you can follow through. Because every single day you do that, you get closer to mastering the one skill that will change your entire life: discipline. You know what's crazy? People think transformation happens in one big moment, like some lightning strike of change. But real transformation doesn't happen in a single day, it happens every single day. It's the result of small, brutal, boring acts of consistency stacked one on top of another. That's how you go from ordinary to extraordinary. Every time you push through the pain, every time you keep your promise to yourself, you're rewriting your story. You're telling your mind, I'm not that person anymore. I'm someone new. And let me tell you something, discipline changes your identity. Motivation might change your mood, but discipline changes who you are. Motivation makes you feel inspired for a moment. Discipline turns to someone who doesn't need inspiration to act. You can't rely on hype forever. You can't rely on that good day energy, because there will be mornings when you wake up and nothing in you wants to move. That's where 99% of people stop. But that's also where the 1% begin. That's where transformation starts. The greats, the legends, they weren't born different. They built themselves different. They bled for it. They trained their minds like soldiers. They built discipline like a muscle through resistance, repetition, and relentless focus. You want to know what real strength looks like? It's not shouting, I got this, when things are easy. It's whispering, let's go. When your world feels like it's falling apart, it's showing up when nobody would blame you for quitting. And you know what's beautiful? Every time you do that, every time you show up when you don't feel like it, you break another piece of the old you, the lazy you, the uncertain you, the one who needed motivation just to start. Bit by bit, that version of you dies and something powerful is born, the disciplined you. That version doesn't wait for energy, it creates it. That version doesn't chase comfort, it chases growth. That version doesn't say someday. It says today. You see, transformation is not about intensity. It's about consistency. Anybody can work hard for a day, but can you show up on the days that suck? Can you grind when nobody claps? Can you stay locked in when progress feels invisible? Because that's what separates dreamers from doers. Dreamers need to feel good to start. Doers start so they can feel good. Let me tell you something, you're not fighting the world. You're fighting your own excuses. You're not battling time, you're battling your priorities. The game was never out there, it was always inside you. Most people lose because they never master themselves. They let their emotions drive their actions instead of their standards. But when you build discipline, you start living by commitment, not convenience. And that's when everything changes. Because when you stop negotiating with your own mind, you gain power. You start controlling your day instead of your day controlling you. You start winning mornings, and mornings become momentum. Think about this. When you wake up and immediately choose progress over comfort, you're sending a message to your subconscious. I'm in charge. You start the day with a win. And that one decision ripples through every other part of your life. That's why people who master discipline seem unshakable, because they've trained themselves not to be ruled by feelings. They've learned that emotion is temporary, but execution is permanent. You've got to rewire your brain. When it screams, I can't, answer back with, I must. When it whispers, I'll do it later, respond with, I'm doing it now. That inner dialogue determines everything, because here's the truth. If you keep listening to your feelings, you'll live a small life. Feelings want comfort. Discipline wants greatness. And you can't have both. It's easy to say, I'll start when I'm ready. But guess what? You'll never be ready. There's no perfect time. There's just now, and now is the only time that builds momentum. The future you dream about, it's built on today's discipline. Every rep, every page, every study session, every decision to do what's hard, that's a brick. And someday you'll look back and realize you built a fortress out of those tiny moments. And that's when you understand, discipline was never punishment. It was preparation. When you build discipline, you become dangerous, not because you're arrogant, but because you're unbreakable. You're no longer controlled by moods, distractions, or other people's opinions. You own your time, you own your energy, you own your path. People start asking, what changed? And you'll smile because they'll never understand that the change wasn't a single moment. It was 1,000 quiet choices, 1,000 battles nobody saw, 1,000 mornings where you refused to quit. That's what transformation looks like. Not a Hollywood moment, not a motivational high, but a lifetime of disciplined choices. And listen, you don't have to be perfect. You're gonna fall, you're gonna mess up. That's part of it. The key isn't never failing, it's never staying down. Discipline is getting up faster every time you get hit. Every stumble is feedback, and every failure is fuel. Every obstacle is a classroom, and every comeback builds confidence. Because every time you rise, you reinforce the truth. I can do hard things. That's how confidence is built. Not by talking, but by doing. So stop waiting for the right mood, the right day, or the right opportunity. The right time is when you decide it's right. The switch flips the moment you say enough, and when you live with that level of discipline. When you operate from purpose, not comfort, your life will start reflecting that power back to you. Doors open, people notice, opportunities align. Because the universe rewards consistency. You've got more in you than you can imagine. You've got greatness sleeping inside you. But it doesn't wake up with motivation. It wakes up with discipline. So right now, make that decision. Stop talking about who you're gonna become. Start proving it. Show up. Lock in. Build the habits that shape the person you want to be. Because one day, you're gonna look in the mirror and realize that you didn't need motivation after all. You just needed to become disciplined enough to not need it. You've got one life, one shot, one chance to build something that matters. And you've got to ask yourself, what are you doing with it? Are you living by design or by default? Because discipline is what draws that line. You don't get what you wish for, you get what you're willing to fight for every single day. You don't rise to the level of your dreams, you fall to the level of your discipline. And that's what separates the ones who talk from the ones who execute. Everybody wants success, but not everyone wants the sacrifice that success demands. The truth is, most people never fail because they're not capable, they fail because they're inconsistent. They let feelings dictate actions, they chase motivation like it's fuel. But the real ones, they don't need hype to move. They move because their mission demands it. You can't wait for the stars to align. You've got to build the sky yourself. You've got to wake up every morning and say, no matter how I feel, I'm showing up. That's discipline. It's the foundation of greatness. When you look at the legends, Kobe, Jordan, Serena, Elon, Jobs, what do they all have in common? It's not luck, it's not talent, it's relentless consistency. They mastered the boring. They fell in love with the process. And here's the punch. They didn't always love it. They just respected it. They understood that emotions are temporary, but the results of discipline are permanent. You can't control how you feel every day, but you can control what you do about it. There are days when you'll feel drained, overwhelmed, even lost. That's okay, that's human. But discipline is what carries you through those valleys. It's what whispers, keep walking, you're closer than you think. You've got to train your brain to see resistance as a signal, not to stop, but to lean in. Resistance is the compass pointing straight toward your growth. You've been through hard times before, haven't you? You've had nights when you questioned if you could make it, mornings when you didn't want to get up, and yet you're still here. You survived every battle you thought would break you. That's proof that you're stronger than your excuses. So stop waiting for things to get easier. Life doesn't get easier, you get stronger. Discipline is what makes you stronger. And listen, when you live with discipline, you gain something most people never feel: peace. Because you know you're giving your best. You know you're earning your wins. You stop living with regret because you're showing up fully day after day. That's freedom. And that's the irony. Discipline looks like restriction, but it's actually liberation. The more disciplined you are, the more control you have over your destiny. So from this moment forward, I want you to commit to something: no more waiting for motivation. No more waiting for the right time. No more living on pause. You've got goals. Then treat them like oxygen. You don't wait to breathe, you breathe because you have to. That's how you've got to treat your dream. Non-negotiable. And you might be thinking, it's hard. Of course it's hard. That's the point. Easy doesn't change you. Easy doesn't grow you. Easy doesn't build legends. Discipline is doing what's right long after the mood has left. Discipline is getting up when comfort says stay down. Discipline is standing tall when life punches you in the gut. And when you live that way, you become unstoppable because you stop relying on external things: no motivation, no applause, no validation. You start generating your own fire from within. That's power. That's when you become dangerous. When you no longer need someone to push you. When your actions are driven by purpose, not pressure, you become a force that nothing can stop. And that's what the world needs right now. Not more people waiting to feel ready, but people ready to act no matter what they feel. Discipline turns ordinary people into examples. It turns doubters into believers. It turns dreams into reality. And you sitting there, you've got everything it takes. You just need to decide. Decide that you're done living small. Decide that your potential isn't negotiable. Decide that you're going to show up for yourself every single day, even when it's dark, even when it's lonely, even when nobody's watching, because those are the moments that define greatness. When it's hard, that's when it counts. When it's uncomfortable, that's when you grow. When it feels impossible, that's when it matters most. Every time you show up, you're stacking bricks for your future. Every time you say no to distraction, you're saying yes to purpose. Every time you stay consistent, you're rewriting your legacy. So stop chasing motivation. It's a spark, but discipline is the fire that never goes out. And when that fire burns inside you, there's nothing that can hold you back. You'll become the kind of person who doesn't need to talk about goals. You embody them. You don't tell people your dreams. You live them. You don't need to prove anything. Your actions do the talking, and one day, people will look at you and say, you're lucky. But you'll know the truth. It wasn't luck. It was discipline. It was showing up when they slept. It was grinding when they complained. It was saying yes to growth and no to excuses. That's how legends are made. So this is your wake-up call. No more waiting for motivation. No more hoping for the perfect time. No more excuses. Wake up, lock in. Build discipline like your life depends on it, because it does. Every step forward is a step away from the old you. Every act of discipline is a declaration: I am in control of my destiny. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your life. And from this moment forward, you don't wait for motivation. You create it through discipline.